There are some things in pop culture that are just bedrock. There's certainties. The sky is blue, water is wet, and Alfred Pennyworth is the moral heart of Gotham City.
Right, he's the faithful butler, the surrogate father. He's the guy with a cup of tea and some, perfectly sage advice right when you need it.
Exactly. The absolute moral compass. But, and I am so excited to get into this today, we're doing a deep dive on some material that argues we have this completely, totally backwards.
We do. We're looking at an article by Ryan Collison, and the title alone tells you everything. It's called Batman and Alfred, the Enabler.
It's such a provocative title. It suggests that Alfred isn't just the worried parent figure watching the hero go off to battle.
No, it argues he's the engine. He's the one who makes the whole self-destructive crusade possible in the first place.
So the core argument here just completely flips the script. It says Alfred is the infrastructure of Batman. And without that infrastructure, the whole thing just collapses.
And we should probably be really clear about that word, enabler. The source isn't using it casually. In a psychological sense, an enabler isn't just a helper.
Right.
An enabler is someone who systematically protects a person from the consequences of their own dysfunction.
So a helper solves the problem, but the enabler hides it. Hides it so it can keep going.
Precisely. The source argues Alfred's loyalty looks like love, and it is love, but it functions like fuel for the fire. He creates this entire systems architecture that allows Bruce Wayne to keep this up for decades.
Okay, let's dig into that. Systems architecture, because I think most of us picture Alfred dusting or, serving soup. But the list of his actual duties in this piece it's insane.
It's not housekeeping, it's logistics. It's what Collison calls the infrastructure of obsession. And if you really break down what Alfred does, you realize that whole solo vigilante idea is a complete myth.
Batman is a two-man operation.
At least. And the guy in the chair is arguably doing more to keep the guy in the suit alive than the suit itself.
The medical care part really got to me. The article's pretty graphic about it. This isn't just putting a Band-Aid on a scrape.
No, not at all. We are talking about battlefield medicine, high-level trauma care. He's stitching deep wounds, setting compound fractures, treating chemical burns, monitoring vitals, administering, serious painkillers.
And he's doing it all in a cave.
In a cave. And here's the insight from the source that just clicked for me. Without this private, off-the-books medical care, Batman lasts maybe 6 months. Tops.
Wow.
Think about it. If any normal person, even a billionaire, shows up at an ER with gunshot wounds and broken ribs, what happens?
Oh, questions get asked. The police get called. Immediate.
Exactly. There are mandatory reporting laws. The second Bruce Wayne goes to Gotham General, the whole mission is over. Alfred's real job is to privatize the trauma. He creates this bubble where Bruce can get nearly killed and face zero questions from anyone who might say, hey, this is completely insane, you need to stop.
He's bypassing all of society's safety nets.
He is the safety net. And that net allows Bruce to keep jumping off the cliff. He removes every single consequence.
And it's not just the physical stuff, is it? It's his entire life. The source calls him mission control, but also the domestic camouflage.
That camouflage is so vital. Alfred maintains the whole illusion that Bruce Wayne is a functional person. He's scheduling board meetings, handling the press, making sure the charities get their checks. He launders Bruce's time.
He creates the cover story.
So Bruce can sleep for 2 hours and spend the rest of the night breaking bones. And don't forget the money. Someone has to move millions of dollars around for military-grade hardware without setting off every alarm at the IRS.
That's Alfred, the CFO of Batman Incorporated.
So if Alfred just decides, you know what, I'm taking 2 weeks off, going to the Bahamas.
Machine grinds to a halt. The money stops, the wounds fester, the cover story falls apart, and Batman is either dead or in Arkham within a week. Alfred isn't just helping. He's the only reason this is sustainable.
Okay, so we've established the what. Alfred is the enabler-in-chief. He's built the whole machine. But the real question, and this is where the article gets, I think, really deep, is the why.
Right. Why does he do it? He obviously loves Bruce. So why would you help someone you love destroy themselves?
And that's what the source calls the first failure. To get the psychology here, you have to go all the way back to the beginning. You have to look at the survivor's guilt.
From the night the Waynes were murdered.
Correct. Now, Alfred wasn't there. He wasn't in the alley. But he was the head of that household. And in his mind, the safety of that family was his one job, his singular responsibility.
So it happened on his watch.
Even though he was powerless to stop it, he carries that weight. He lived. They died. The source argues that this creates this massive, unpayable psychological debt.
And he transfers that debt to the only one who's left. Bruce.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He looks at this broken, traumatized little boy and he makes a vow. I will never fail you again. But, and this is the tragic part, never failing him becomes never saying no to him.
Because saying no would feel like another abandonment, another failure.
Precisely. So he becomes completely focused on giving Bruce whatever he wants because he couldn't give him the one thing he actually needed, which was his parents. So when this angry, grieving kid says, I'm going to dress up like a bat and wage a one-man war on crime, a healthy guardian says what?
Absolutely not. You're 12, we're going to therapy 5 times a week.
Right. A healthy parent sets a boundary. They create friction to protect the child. But Alfred says, very good, sir. How can I help?
It's penance.
That's the word. Every single stitch, every lie he tells, every piece of armor he polishes, it's a payment on that debt. He is so terrified of failing the son that he helps the son walk right into the fire, night after night.
That just recontextualizes everything. That loyalty doesn't feel like simple heroism anymore. It feels like desperation.
It's a desperate kind of love. And that leads directly to the next big concept in the piece, which is codependence.
Okay, let's define that, because that term gets thrown around a lot.
Sure. In this context, codependence is basically a relationship where one person's entire sense of self, their identity, is organized around the needs of another person. It's not just, I care about you. It's, my purpose for existing is you.
And man, does that fit Alfred to a T. I was trying to think while I was reading this. Does Alfred have any friends? Does he have a hobby that isn't, maintaining the Bat computer?
In almost every version of the story, comics, films, whatever, the answer is a hard no. There is no Alfred outside of his service to Bruce.
That's actually really sad when you think about it. He's just always there, waiting.
The source points out something fascinating about his backstory, too. You know how writers sometimes give him this cool history, like he was an ass commando or a British spy?
Yeah, to make him seem more capable.
Exactly. But notice how that history is always used. It's never about who Alfred is. It's always framed as what makes him useful to Batman.
Oh, well. Oh, good. Alfred was a field medic. That's convenient for Bruce's war.
That's the usefulness trap. He is Alfred as a tool, not Alfred as a person. His entire being has been sublimated into the mission. And the source asks this really brutal question. If Batman retired tomorrow, if Bruce Wayne was suddenly happy and healed, who is Alfred?
He's just an old man in an empty house.
An old man with no purpose, and that's a terrifying thought. The enabler, often unconsciously, fears the recovery of the person they're enabling. Because if the attic gets clean, the enabler isn't needed anymore. Their identity vanishes.
Which brings us to that father figure label we always give him. The source argues he failed at the single most important job of a parent.
Setting limits. That is the fundamental duty of a parent. A real parent frustrates their child. They say no. They create friction. That's how a child learns about boundaries and reality.
And Alfred is frictionless. He's the path of least resistance.
He provides unlimited support. And the source calls this indulgence dressed as love. Bruce was an orphan who desperately needed someone to stop him, to say, this is not how we process grief. And instead, he got the one person who would facilitate his every destructive whim.
It's wild because the article points out that Alfred, of all people, holds all the power. He could stop this at any time.
That's the really uncomfortable truth here, isn't it? Alfred could refuse to stitch another wound. He could lock down the Batcave. He could call the Gotham Gazette and leak the whole story. He could just pack his bags and leave.
And if he did any of those things, Batman is over. Done.
Instantly. The infrastructure collapses, and maybe Bruce spirals, maybe he hits rock bottom, but he would be forced to actually confront his trauma without a safety net, but Alfred won't do it.
And it's not just about the guilt anymore, is it?
It's about control, and it's about dependency. As long as Bruce is broken, as long as he needs patching up, Alfred is essential. Alfred needs Batman to need him. If Bruce ever actually got healthy, what would Alfred's purpose be?
Wow. So Alfred needs the brokenness just as much as Bruce is trapped by it.
It's a perfect symbiotic loop.
Now, I can hear people listening to this just screaming right now. They're saying, but wait, Alfred objects all the time. He's always making sarcastic comments and telling Bruce to stay home.
Yes. The classic I told you so dynamic. The source gets right into this. We see it constantly. Alfred with the raised eyebrow, the dry remark about Bruce's latest injuries.
Perhaps you shouldn't go out tonight, Master Bruce.
Exactly. But then what does he do 5 seconds later? He hands him the keys to the Batmobile. The source argues this verbal protest is actually part of the enabling. It allows Alfred to feel like he's being responsible, like he's doing his parental duty, without actually changing a thing.
It's like telling your friend, you should quit smoking while you're lighting their cigarette for them.
It is the absolute illusion of responsibility. The analogy in the article is perfect. Alfred is the one warning Bruce that the cliffs are dangerous while simultaneously filling up the gas tank of the car that he knows Bruce is about to drive off that cliff.
Man, that makes all those witty one-liners feel so much darker.
It does. It strips away all the charm and just leaves the raw dysfunction.
There's another small detail the article brings up that I'd never really thought about. His call sign, Penny 1. It's what Batman calls him over the comm system. The article says this isn't just a cool code name. It defines his place in the entire universe.
He is the first. Penny 1. Before Robin, before Batgirl, before the Justice League, there was Alfred. He is the foundation of the whole thing. And because he was the first relationship Bruce formed after his trauma, he set the template for every single relationship that came after.
And what a terrible template that is.
Think about what Alfred taught Bruce that love is. He taught him that closeness means unconditional, unchallenged support. It means someone completely sublimating their own needs for yours. It means, I will never stop you, I will never leave you, and I will serve your obsession until one of us is dead.
So when Bruce tries to have a romantic relationship or a partnership with another hero,
he expects that. He expects the Penny 1 dynamic from everyone. He can't build healthy relationships because his primary model for love is a person who has no boundaries and asks for nothing in return.
that explains so much about why he's such a nightmare to work with. He's been emotionally spoiled.
Completely. He's never had to learn compromise because his foundational relationship requires zero compromise from him.
So we're really painting this picture of a deep tragedy. The section in the source called The Tragedy of Love really drives this home. It argues that this kind of love, it's actually a prison.
It's this idea that unconditional support can become a trap. Because Alfred is always there to pick up the pieces, Bruce never truly hits rock bottom. And in any kind of recovery, hitting rock bottom is often the catalyst for change.
Right. If someone is always there to catch you, you never feel the full impact of the fall.
So Bruce stays frozen, he's in stasis. The infrastructure that Alfred provides makes that stasis sustainable. He can effectively remain that angry, grieving child forever because all the adult consequences of his actions are managed by someone else.
The source has this what-if scenario, this alternative timeline. What if Alfred had just said no?
Master Bruce, I love you, but I will not help you do this. The equipment is locked down. We're going to find you a therapist, not a costume designer.
Bruce would have lost it. He would have been furious.
Oh, he would have raged. He might have even fired Alfred, but he might have been forced to actually process his trauma. Without the easy outlet of violence, he might have become a philanthropist, a political reformer.
Someone who tries to fix Gotham's systems instead of just punching its symptoms?
Exactly. The source basically argues that Alfred's yes is what locked Bruce into this one single destructive path. It's a paradox. Alfred loves Bruce more than anything, but he has actively harmed him for decades. Both things are true.
It's not villainy.
No, it's not malicious at all, and that's what makes it a tragedy. It's love that has become indistinguishable from harm.
The article calls Alfred the meta-enabler. We always focus on the rogues gallery, the Joker, Penguin, Riddler. But Alfred is what makes the whole game possible.
He sets the stage. He's not just another character on the stage. He builds it, he maintains it, he sweeps it clean after the bloody performance every night. He is the infrastructure of the entire addiction.
It just forces you to rethink what heroism even means for a character like him. We admire Alfred for his loyalty, but maybe that kind of loyalty isn't a virtue.
Loyalty without boundaries isn't loyalty, it's complicity. And in this case, it's complicity in a decades-long slow-motion suicide attempt.
So if we're trying to pull a takeaway from all this, what does it mean for how we should see these characters, or even our own relationships?
I think it forces you to look at what helping really means. We think helping someone is always saying yes or protecting them from pain. But this source, it challenges you to see that sometimes the most loving thing you can possibly do is to say no.
To refuse to help, even when they're begging you to.
Especially then. If Alfred stopped, Batman would end, and Bruce Wayne would finally have to face himself in the mirror without the mask. It would be terrifying. It might even break him, but it's the only chance he would ever have to actually heal.
But Alfred won't do it.
No, because in a way, Alfred is just as trapped as Bruce is. It's a machine that needs both of them to keep running.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's devastating. And it makes the story so much more complex and rich than just, the good butler helps the hero.
It turns it into a psychological horror story.
Well, this has been a heavy one,
Yeah.
but I think we've landed on the central idea. The meta-enabler, Alfred, is the single most important relationship in the entire Batman universe.
Absolutely. For better, and almost certainly for worse.
So here's the final thought I want to leave you with. And this is something the source hints at, but I really want you to chew on this. We've established that Alfred keeps this whole machine running. But does he do it purely because he loves Bruce? Or does he do it because he is absolutely terrified of who he would be if Bruce ever actually got better? If the patient is finally cured, does the doctor just cease to exist?
That's the question, isn't it?
Thanks for diving deep with us today. We'll catch you on the next one.